Well, I'm delighted to say we're joined by Stuart Pringle, MD of Silverstone. It's lovely to see you. It's obviously been quite a difficult time. It's a difficult time for everybody, but for you and for Silverstone. How have you been managing?
Well, it has been a difficult time, Jenny, but I'm very conscious that we have to consider our challenges within the wider national context. And actually, they're pretty small. You know, there are hospitals, care homes, parts of society that have been greatly more seriously affected than our business. We love our business, we love our sport, we love Formula One, but it's not as important as the NHS and the key workers at the moment. That said, it's a difficult time at Silverstone, no question. It's a very, very difficult trading environment. We've had to close the circuit. Our fantastic team of 175 or so staff, 70% of them are currently furloughed and not working. Those that remain in the business are having to do numerous people's jobs, work many, many hours, keep the place safe, secure, keep on top of everything at Silverstone so that we're good to go when the lockdown is lifted, and of course continue the planning and the communications. So I'm very grateful to all of my colleagues, those that are on furlough and their forbearance and their commitment. And the challenge has been asking them not to do any work. You're not allowed to do any work, and they just want to keep helping, which speaks volumes. And those that are putting in the 12, 15, 18-hour days to make sure that Silverstone remains functional. It's not straightforward, but we're getting through.
You've had some pretty tough news to deliver. Obviously, just behind you, we see all those beautiful visions of the fans at Silverstone. That's the heart and soul of it. And it is disappointing and for some heartbreaking that you won't be able to have fans there this year.
Yes, I must fess up and say that I'm not actually in front of the circuit with loads of fans. This is the wonders of what you can do with Zoom. Thank you to our marketing department. Sorry, it makes my head look a bit wobbly, I understand. But no, I thought it was worth just reminding ourselves, why we get out of bed in the morning, what we have to do. So no, delivering that news that we could not run the British Grand Prix in front of a crowd this year was an absolute hammer blow to Silverstone and all involved. I am extremely sorry to all fans, ticket holders who've been so looking forward to this Grand Prix. Crikey, we have too. We are a passionate bunch of enthusiasts that work at the circuit, and it's what gets us out of bed in the mornings, seeing that the buzz of putting on the biggest sporting event in the UK annually, or certainly weekend sporting event, 1/3 people, making sure that we give a fantastic experience, a truly memorable weekend, and a safe and secure event. And it was that latter point that it became clear, working with government and the governing body of motorsport in the United Kingdom, Motorsport UK, and also the Formula One World Championship, it simply was not going to be possible. So, it was with a very, very heavy heart that we did have to make that decision. But I'm extremely grateful to all fans for the way in which you've taken the news, to everybody who has taken the time to comment and say that it's the right decision. Thank you. That makes a difficult decision a lot more bearable.
You certainly had a lot of response from fans and some wonderful messages that I've seen online.
Yes. Actually, Jenny, I teed a couple up if you wouldn't mind, because I just wanted to sort of, they give a flavour of the level of support that exists out there. Anne Hicks, a Silverstone marshal, and also a nurse working in the intensive care unit in Northampton General Hospital locally. Anne wrote and said, gutted about Formula One British Grand Prix, but so looking forward to 2021 already. And, thank you, Anne, for all you're doing for us locally, as well as your support of the British Grand Prix. Sarah Chell, who hasn't missed a Formula One race at Silverstone for over 9 years. It's going to be hard watching on TV. You cannot beat the amazing atmosphere. I agree with that, Sarah. Can't wait for the 2021 race. And finally, Sabine Harrison. Sabine, I'm so sorry to you and your family. There was major celebrations that were being lined up. You been coming since 1999. Actually, I'm going to do one more. Sarah Havens. It's Sarah who had the big celebrations. A 50th, a 70th, and a 21st birthday celebration. They are gutted, the word I have used many, many times, but we'll absolutely be back next year. So, 1,200 people bothered to comment on our Facebook page the day that we put the news up. That speaks volumes to the passion. And I think we were trending 10th on Twitter. When there's quite a lot of news going around, that rather gives an indication of where the British Grand Prix sits in the sporting landscape in the UK.
It's worth saying you're going to give some more news out in the next couple of weeks about what fans can expect. But if people can hold on to their tickets for next year, that would be a good thing for everybody, would it?
Yes, absolutely. We want to get this party started, and it's not going to be until 2021. So everybody that was planning on coming this year, we sincerely hope that you will come back next year. We recognise that rolling your ticket over means leaving your money with us for a year, and I don't want to do that without recognising that. So there will be a number of money can't buy opportunities that will be that you will be entered for a draw for. We've had fantastic support from many of our friends up and down the paddock, from McLaren, Williams, Mercedes, Racing Point. Many of the teams have offered some unique opportunities: garage tours, chance to see inside their motorhome, paddock tours. We are going to create an opportunity for fans to have more access than they've ever had before. It can't be open to everybody. It will be a competition. We're working with our friends at Sky on something that's a little bit more general, that hopefully we can make available to everybody that brings their tickets forward. And there are other partners like Motorsport Magazine that are working very closely with us. So we're going to offer a bucket load of value to those that want to leave their tickets with us, because to do so would really help Silverstone. This is not an easy time for us. We, like all businesses, are experiencing cash flow challenges, and it helps us enormously. So if you can do that, thank you. If you can't, I have been very clear. I hope that right from the beginning, I said if you do want your ticket refunded, and I fully recognise that there are many people up and down the country that are experiencing difficulties with work and money at the moment. Absolutely, we will do that. You will get 100% of your money back. None of this holding back any charges. All of the add-ons, everything, we'll refund it in full if that is what you would like, of course. We'll be writing in the next fortnight to set out both of these options. In fact, I can tell you it will be well within a fortnight, and then we'll get the process of refunds underway for those that need it. But if you can stay with us and secure your seat, the one that you wanted this year, rolled over to next year, then fantastic. We look forward to welcoming you. In fact, it's one of my favourite bits of the Grand Prix, Jennie, is I do like an early start over Grand Prix weekend and going down to some of the far-flung gates and chatting with fans as they come in or waiting for the gates to open. I know I'll see a lot of people next year.
On the subject of this year's race, how are plans for July going?
Well, it's a funny old time. We haven't known what we'll be organising. We don't actually know whether or not we have a race behind closed doors. I need to be clear on that. There are two things that need to happen. Number one, we need to understand from the government the criteria that need to be achieved to be allowed to run a sporting event behind closed doors. And I'm working with the Department of Digital Culture, Media and Sport, and with the governing body of motorsport in the UK to establish whether or not we can comply with those and meet them and surpass them. We also have to reach an agreement with the Formula One World Championship, and that's not the work of the moment. There's absolutely the desire on the part of both parties to make that happen, but it's complicated, it's contractual, and it will take a few more days, probably weeks to get there. In the meantime, we need to plan for scaling down from a big public event, because we were scaled up, and that had a lot of people. I mean, just directly reporting to me with everybody that comes in, it's some 7,000 people that deliver the public elements, and then there's about the same again that work on the sporting side. But we also need to understand what would need to be in place to run a safe and secure event behind closed doors, and that will include things that we don't normally do, like testing for COVID-19 and various medical procedures. So there's a whole heap of work. It's having to be done now by an awful lot less people than we would normally do it, and I'm becoming quite familiar with the wee small hours of the morning to try and get through the volume. But that's no hardship. We've just got to get some clarity and see whether we could get at least a race behind closed doors, because I think we'll all enjoy that. It'll be something for our summer, even if we can't be there in person.
Right, we threw out some questions on social media, and we've got some fantastic ones from the fans. So the first one, how long does it take to set up a Grand Prix?
Good question. We say about 12 weeks. That's what we work on. We're lucky at Silverstone. We've got a lot of fixed infrastructure, big buildings, the thing and the like. We're not like a Monaco or an Azerbaijan. I know Singapore starts in April to run an event in September. For us, it's 12 weeks. That's mainly the tents, the marquees, hospitality areas, the fan zone, and the all-important portaloos, and those sort of things. It's all car parks and lavatories, champagne and grid girls, I can tell you.
So glamorous. We've spoken a little bit about incentive packages, so we don't need to go too far into that. But you know, the likes of Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes, Racing Point, Williams, stepping up to support Silverstone, it is great, isn't it? Both for Silverstone itself and for the fans.
This is going to be a great opportunity for the fans, and we're lucky. I can tell you, we do have a particularly special relationship with the teams because they are all local to Silverstone. We are the local circuit. It's a lot harder to forge a link when you're a promoter on the other side of the world and you only see them for a couple of weeks a year. So no, I'm really, really grateful to the support that we've received from our friends and teams. I think this is going to be a unique opportunity for the fans.
It's the 70th anniversary this year of Formula One. We were planning lots of celebrations. Any chance you can roll those over to 2021?
Yes, absolutely. I think we can. In truth, Jenny, I haven't quite got that far about thinking about things, but I see no reason why not. I'm known in our business as a bit of a purist and a nerd. And a stickler for motor racing history, but frankly, if I could get my head around the acceptability of celebrating an anniversary 1 year out, then I think others ought to be able to as well. I can tell you we had some fantastic cars lined up that were going to showcase 70 years of the Formula One World Championship, cars with special history at Silverstone, really evocative things. Yeah, I think nerds like me. And just to prove my nerdy credentials, I brought a photo. You see that? Me age 6 in that hot summer of 76, sitting on the inside of Woodcote, I think. Well, I don't think, I know, sitting on the inside of Woodcote. If I can get my head around that, then yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll have some of these amazing cars and we will celebrate a year early. What the hell? It's only a date.
How will Silverstone guarantee that any race meetings held this year will have zero impact or effect on the NHS? And how will track safety marshals maintain social distancing?
That is a very pertinent question, and one that I'm extremely conscious of. We will not, as Silverstone, but actually we will not be allowed by the government to run a motor racing event, a sporting event behind closed doors, if we are a burden on public services and the NHS in particular. So it's really important that we get the answer right on this. We are still working through those details, so I can't give too much granular information on that. What I can say is that the Chief Medical Officer for the British Grand Prix, the Chief Medical Officer for Motorsport in the United Kingdom, and the FIA medical delegate are all working on what the plans will look like. We are in close contact with Her Majesty's government on what needs to be achieved, how that is complied with. I've seen correspondence between the governing body and the Department of Digital Culture, Media and Sport only this morning. That's really demonstrating how these plans are being worked up. We've been out to the hospitals that would have to receive any seriously ill or injured people. So those dialogues have started to take place. But it's probably also worth saying that, we have fantastic medical facilities at Silverstone. We're very self-contained. We're looking to other sports. There are other sports in the UK where medical professionals are employed within the sport and don't work within the National Health Service, and it may be that sport can help sport. But we won't run if that's going to be a problem. And actually, I should also just say, finally on that, the vast majority of our contact with the NHS over a normal Formula One weekend is to do with public-related issues, not on-track related issues. So, whilst I'd much rather have the public present, if there is a silver lining to that cloud, it may be that burden is naturally reduced. Anyway, turning to the Marshals question, well, the track is a 3.66 mile lap. So the Marshals posts are well spaced out, but I'm sure that the fan who raised the question understands very well that there are multiple Marshals on each point. Some of them are bigger than others. If they are not big enough to accommodate the number of Marshals, and I would say that we are reviewing the number of Marshals that are necessary, and I know the FIA are looking at this because it's extraordinary times, then we'll create more space, and those will be signed off as safe environments. We also are still, we still have to understand what the government may require and what Formula One chooses to introduce by way of testing for people, testing for the coronavirus for people that are coming to work at a motor racing event behind closed doors, Formula One event behind closed doors. So there are all sorts of factors here in play. We are working through them steadily, and we've got a little bit of time because, we're thinking about the 19th of July. It's a little way off yet. We will get the answers, and we will not be that burden.
Final question, which I love, so I had to include it. What is your favourite flavour of Pringle?
You didn't tell me that one was coming. Well, the original flavour. Obviously, everybody loves an original Pringle. Don't give me any of these imposter flavours.
I love it. Stuart, thank you so much for your time. Do you have a final message that you would like to send out to people at home, to fans of Silverstone and Formula One?
Yes, thank you. I would. I'd just like to finish off by saying, most sincerely, thank you for your support. This has been a difficult time. It has been a challenge for Silverstone to analyse what is developing in the world, what is the right decision, whether this is realistic or not. I thank you for your forbearance. You have stuck with us. You accepted when I said at the end of March that we were going to take the month of April to make a decision. You didn't give me a hard time. You didn't ring up our team and say, when are you going to make a decision? You gave us the space we needed. And when we made a decision with a very heavy heart that we couldn't run in front of fans this year, you have unanimously supported us. I mean, to a man and lady, you have supported us. And I'm extremely grateful for that support. It makes a very difficult decision at a challenging time an awful lot harder. Silverstone is incredibly lucky to have your loyalty, your knowledge, your passion. We are unique. We are the best supported Grand Prix in the world, and those that attend say that we are the best. Not my measures, it's statistics from Formula One for the last couple of years. And I thank you most sincerely for your support. Let's see you all again in 2021. I can't wait to welcome you. It's going to be a hell of a party in 2021. Hopefully another one of our home heroes, or our current world champion, or one of the other British drivers will be winning, or at least on the podium, giving us something to cheer about. I can't wait to see you all again. Thank you for supporting us.